What's up, guys? Craig here, Fergie Time. Today's episode, I have Shawna from Bestop, and she's a Jeeper, had a YJ in Colorado, moved out to Boston, sold it, bought a JL, and she's actually sitting in a Bronco, and we just talk about different Bestop products, some of her favorites, and just get into all that fun stuff. So like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks, guys. Guys, Craig here, Fergie Time. Today, this is cool. I'm talking with Shawna Sweeney from Bestop. Yeah, we're just chatting. I met her through customer service, I guess, after I rolled my Jeep. Just chatting about different ways to get Fergie back on the road, and owned a YJ and got something new we'll talk about. And yeah, I'm just excited to have you on.
Yeah, excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
So tell me how'd you get into Jeeps in the first place? Or your history with Jeeps?
You know, like every elder millennial, Jurassic Park came out, and that was like the first, like, okay, look at that thing. Like, wait. There's a vehicle out there that I don't need a roof on. Like, what is happening here? And then a few weeks later, my cousin, who was a lot older than me, already in his 20s, came home with one. And that was kind of it. He pulled up with no top, no doors. And that was it. I was hooked. That was my goal for, my whole childhood. Can we get a Jeep? Can we get a Jeep? Can we get a Jeep? And now as an adult, I'm very lucky that I get to not only love Jeeps, but work in an industry where I get to talk about them all day.
So your first Jeep, was it a YJ?
My first Jeep was the YJ. My cousin's Jeep was the one that, really as a kid, I would ride in, and that's what got me hooked. The YJ was my first Jeep I got myself. We all know how expensive Jeeps can get, never mind the first purchase.
So did you do a Jurassic Park themed? Or
no, I never actually wanted the Jurassic Park theme itself. It was more like, that was just the first time I had really seen one without a hardtop, without door, modded in any way. And that just kind of gave me an idea of like, wait, you can do that to a vehicle? And that's kind of what just opened that door. So then seeing the cousin come home with it, and now we have the doors off, and he's chilling with his leg driving out of it. That was it. I was hooked.
So you had a YJ and you sold it, and what are you driving now?
I did. I sold it begrudgingly. I still sometimes catch myself saying I own a YJ because I'm in disbelief. But I had to make the decision when moving across the country, do I tow it? Because it's clearly not going to drive. What do I do? And I just decided it was best to kind of let that project go. And now I'm in a 2018 two-door JL, daily driver, not just a fun vehicle anymore. So that's a change for me. I've always been a little zoom car day to day, and then Jeeps in the weekend. So now I've completely transitioned, and I can definitely say I'm never looking back. Definitely don't miss the little cars.
So you moved from Colorado to Boston. Was that for Bestop, or
it was not? So I'm originally from the Boston area. My family is all out here. Unfortunately, my mom did become really ill, so I had to make the choice of, do I want to be as far from her as Colorado, or do I want to move home? And I did decide to move home for that. And, guardian angels were watching out for me, and a job did open through Bestop out here. So they gave me a call and said, hey, you kind of fit the bill for what we're looking for. Do you want to fill out the application? The exact company it was a very, very hard decision for me. I love Bestop. As a user of Jeeps, as an employee of Bestop, love Bestop. So that was a hard choice for me. So I'm glad that, the skies aligned in the way they needed to.
So what do you do with Bestop now?
So I'm the Northeast Business Regional Development Manager. It's a mouthful. So what I pretty much am in charge of is traveling.
Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, so I'm in charge of the business development in the Northeast as a whole. So I have 21 states and part of Canada I'm responsible for. I travel pretty much about 50 to 60% of my time is traveling. So I'll go to shows, I'll go to my shops, walk in and see just how can I support you as a shop to be able to support us as Bestop. Our goal is that the customer experiences the same thing no matter where they go. So how do I unify that all together when every shop is really so different? I know we all know that, so just kind of get them all on the same page with Bestop, new products and things like that. Definitely just pushing, which is, in my opinion, a lot of fun because I get to not only spread the word about Jeeps, but, a company that I really do stand behind. It's easy to sell a product you believe in yourself. Yeah, I was in customer service for about 5 years. And within customer service, I moved up. I actually started as a temp with Bestop. I had no idea it was going to even be Bestop when I applied, because temp agencies just give you hey, it's a call center, a customer service role. They don't really tell you what. They did say the automotive industry, and that was about it. And that kind of piqued my interest. And I was like, you know what? Let's go for it. And when I saw it was Bestop and it was Jeeps, I was like, what are the odds that it's literally my goal vehicle to buy? This is great. And like within 6 months of working there is when I was able to actually buy the YJ. And then that's just a whole nother experience because you have other Jeep owners within Bestop that are excited for you. And they're, what are you going to get? What are you going to do to it? And, it's just a whole nother experience when you are working around people who have the same passions as you.
So you're chatting to all these people about Jeeps. What's the most common question they would ask you or biggest misconception they have about Bestop?
I think the largest misconception is the hard top to soft top when it comes to sound, when it comes to weather. Do you have to change it out each season? Do you have to, put it in the garage because there's a snowstorm coming? I think overall we're so used to the older models of vehicles where those soft tops had a thinner fabric and things like that. But now as we're getting, more modern and we're using the black twill, for example, which is the same exact fabric that Rolls-Royce and Mercedes use on their convertibles. That's a whole nother level that Jeep owners are just now getting used to. So I think one of the most common misconceptions is that soft tops cannot be used year round, when the truth is they absolutely can. You just need to be aware of a few things. The longevity of the top if you do so, the weight of things like snow. You might get a little leak here and there if you get a crazy storm that comes in, that kind of stuff. We plan normal rainfall coming down from the sky. So when a hurricane comes through, you might get a few drops of water on your foot when you open the door. But ultimately, yes, they can be used year round in most climates in the US and most of Canada too.
Bestop obviously is known for their tops, but there's so much more than that. What else is Bestop?
Yeah, so Bestop itself.
And not just Jeeps, right? You're
not
sitting in a Bronco.
I'm literally sitting in the Bestop Ford Bronco as we speak, which I know some Jeep owners right now who are watching are probably curling their lip at me. I know, guys. I'm sorry. I own Jeeps. I don't own Broncos. But I will say that the Bronco to Jeep feud is very entertaining to watch. The way I look at it is we're all out there together, so might as well join forces and help each other. Bronco owners being fairly new to that off-roading industry can really use a lot of our help, and being there for them and understanding the differences from driving a Bronco out on a trail versus a Jeep. Very, very different experiences as well. So we at Bestop focus on mostly Jeeps and Broncos, but we do actually have an amazing truck line. Our tonneau covers are made of the same fabric that we make our Jeep tops with. So as I just said, we can do year-round tops. Why can't we do that with truck covers as well? One product we have for the trucks that to me really stands out different than any other company is our Super Top for Truck. It's a kind of like a camper shell. We don't recommend camping in it just because we don't keep zippers on the inside. So really, you're kind of going to get stuck in there. But for storage purposes, it's great. It does convert down and fold down just like a Jeep top folds back. This one folds forward and stores down. But to me, that added bonus is it's really easy to unclip the hardware, pull that whole thing off and hang it in your garage. Yes, you're left with rails, but we actually have a tonneau cover conversion kit. So now you can make it a flatbed tonneau cover instead of having your big camper shell. So you actually are getting two tops in one without having to change hardware, just with clicking something off and adding the fabric to it. And for people who drive fifth wheels that may need to tow, or for example, then they get there and they kind of want to have more storage in the back that's covered for tools and camping. The two products together, they are two separate products. You buy one, then you buy the add-on kit. It still comes in under $2,000, which in my opinion is a great price point for having literally a convertible 3-in-1 top.
My favorite Bestop product is the Sunrider.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's like
down.
A game changer for me.
Number one. We have people come up to us at events just to tell us I have that Sunrider, and I absolutely love it.
But that's a game changer for me.
Now, do you also have that retractable sunshade that goes with it? You can buy separately.
So I just installed the rock hard roll cage, and it didn't, because it sit on top of it, so it was kind of like, I tried it. I really wanted to force it to work, but I thought I was gonna just bust it right in the middle. So no, sadly I don't have that, but it's a game changer. I love it.
And that's really important for most people to realize as well, is that every aftermarket company designs their product to fit an OE Jeep. So if you're adding aftermarket to aftermarket, sometimes like what just occurred with you can't put the two products together. And that's really difficult sometimes when we get a customer who needs a soft top, but they have a modified roll cage. So how exactly do we do that? And, at Bestop, we try to do our best to give our advice and our personal opinions. But ultimately, in the end, we always have to give that clause statement but there's no guarantee it could fit.
So when you're in customer service, are all the people that are answering the phones, are they all Jeepers or off-roaders?
I would say they are all fans of Jeeps. We have some people who definitely, got the job at Bestop because, hey, they just somehow landed there. And, Bestop is such a great company that people, the longevity of our employees is like nothing I've ever seen. So a lot of people stay just because it is a great place to work. The other half, they're there because of Jeeps. I would say we have about every manager or supervisor owns a Jeep. And then out of our full-time employees, probably about another 30 to 40% of them also own Jeeps or a Bronco or a truck that's applicable in some way, shape, or form.
Do you wheel together?
I think we called it therapy session. Called it our therapy session every year. So we would take it up into Boulder, Colorado. We would go up to Switzerland Trail. And we would take them all out. And the goal, we would take all the Bestop Jeeps and vehicles out. And the goal would be we allow those who aren't in a Jeep daily to drive so they can experience that a little more. Of course, with the co-pilot who at least has an idea of what they're doing. And we do a little rundown ahead of time. When do you go into four-wheel drive? When, all that. And then we make it all the way to the top. And we always get to that last hill that they stare at and they go, we're going up that. And so it's always fun. It's always fun when they see it and they're like, I don't know about this. And then always when we get to the top, they're like, I can't believe I did it, right? We all remember that first time. We're like, I can't believe I made it up that, right? So to see that and be able to kind of foster what may turn into a Jeep obsession, right? That's cool. That's really cool.
Do you guys get to test out new products coming out before they hit the market or anything like that? Or
so sometimes we do get the added perk of for example, the two-door JL E-Top is about to be released, and I am very lucky to say that the first one that's going out is going to be put on my two-door JL. So we do get that kind of perk where we kind of get it first, get to try it out, get to see what we like. But more importantly, it's really so that somebody who knows how to function the product and knows the expectation of the product is trying it out first. If there's something that we don't like about it and we know how it's supposed to be made, we're going to take care of that before any customer has to experience that. And sometimes that might make something delay releasing just a little bit, but in our opinion, that quality is just so important. We would rather be patient than rush something like that. So anytime we get something on our vehicle brand new and we're testing it out before it's released to the public, we always just make sure every little squeak, bump, cricket is given, back to engineering to be able to take care of that before it's in a customer's hands. So with the E-Top, we kind of went, let's just go with the best with everything. So it's got a triple layer twill. It's got the highest level vinyl you can, which is why those windows can take the slight bend that they get way better than what you're used to in a TJ, a YJ, JK top. The E-Top is available for Broncos. It's available for JLs right now. JKs are being released, guys, by October and November. And what's so exciting about that is main complaint we get from JK people, right? We always forget about you. We always forget about the older Jeeps, but we didn't this time. And we know that those JKs, your tops are really starting to get where you have to replace them. So we wanted to make sure we got these out to you guys. We got the JK available. It is in a pre-order right now. The pre-order for the JL went so well that, it took a minute to trickle out of it and actually be in stock. So I do recommend if somebody is wanting that in this calendar year to definitely get on that before the holidays, get on it early, because once we start filling those pre-orders, we're just going to keep going until we fill them all.
That's cool. So how long does it take? You hit the button?
So the new e-top does open and close both within 30 seconds. So that's pretty impressive. We're talking 15 seconds to sit down, put your foot on the brake, make sure it's in park, and press the button. Just to put it in real life perspective, you're in an area where that weather changes. You have a lot of spot storms, right? There's no more pulling over on the side of the highway. There's no more getting soaked trying to close the top up as the rainstorm is coming. There's no more forgetting your windows at home because you don't take them out. They stay in. On some of the models, you can remove them. For example, the 4-door JK and the 2-door JL do have removable windows like an old school soft top. In my opinion, if you can press a button, press the button, right? Might as well enjoy that. But you do have that added feature of being able to do that as well.
So when you're out wheeling, do you wheel in Boston? Is there wheeling in Boston?
Yeah, that's what everyone always asks. So I am a part of a girls' Jeep club out here. It's actually in Connecticut personally for me, just because this area up here, it is really hard to find trails. Trails are actually all privately owned land in New England. So there is no just going out like in Colorado. It is the number one thing I miss. Don't make me cry. So you do have to join Jeep groups to be able to have permission to use the private land. Usually you get badges and things like that so that you are, permissioned to go on the property and be able to do what you want. But usually you'll go out with your trail groups and things like that as scheduled groups. So it's definitely a way different culture. When you get more close to Canada, you're looking at Vermont and Maine and some of New Hampshire. There you might find some public land you could use to off-road, but it's definitely not like the trails you see in Colorado or Utah or Arizona whatsoever.
So I saw you're rocking some PRP seats there. I have PRP seats.
We do. We got some. These are actually just seat covers, which is actually really impressive.
Oh, okay.
Because these are the OE seats in the Bronco with the PRP seat covers, but they do look just like real full PRP seats.
Yeah, I thought they were. So when I bought my seats from PRP, I think on my receipt it said, "Thanks for paying Bestop" or something like that. So
it sure does.
So how's PRP and Baja, how are they connected with Bestop?
So
What's
Bestop that everybody's used to, Jeep soft tops, that's what everyone thinks of us as. We have all those other accessories and stuff we chatted about. But overhead, Bestop actually is a part of a group called Bestop Premium Accessory Group, or we shorten it to BPAG. So BPAG is made up of, I believe, 9 brands at this time. The bigger names are Baja Design, PRP Seats, us as Bestop, of course. We have Soft Topper, who focuses on truck toppers, Speed Strap, S-Pod, and then there are a few others, MGP, and then which makes caliper covers, and then Illuminess, which does a lot of ladders on camper vans, RVs, and things like that. So when it comes to adventuring in general, no matter if you're an off-roader, an overlander, or just a daily driver who is in their vehicle enough that they want quality product, we're able to address that across all needs, whether it's seats, whether it's a soft top, whether it's a camper shell, which Soft Topper does offer. And they, if you got a dog, they have dog-friendly products to work with their soft topper, mesh windows, things like that in the back. So really, it's what are you looking for, and then which of the BPAG brands can help you find that. Yeah, it's not known too much. We are starting to work together a little bit more internally to try to complement each other at things like shows and things like that. But yeah, we're all kind of joining forces now. So, there's a couple of those brands that are within other brands. Just as an example, is S-Pod and Baja are within one now. So, little things like that, Soft Topper, and Bestop do work really closely
S-Pod,
together.
That's the like switches, right?
It is, yeah. I actually have one right
switches,
here. Yeah, the switches to be able to distribute that battery correctly, so you're not finding yourself dead out there.
So you said part of your job is to go to shows like EJS, Trail Hero, stuff like that?
Yeah. So, when I worked at customer service within Colorado, I was very lucky to be able to go to a lot of events for them then. Now with this travel job, I'm even broadening that even more, and I'm very blessed, which is a word I don't use very often, that I get to check off my bucket list as a Jeeper while also working. Like, who can say that, right? So I've been very lucky to be able to go to Jeep Beach. I was just at Toledo Jeep Fest. I was out in Moab for Easter Jeep Safari. And then I will be down at the Ozarks for the second annual Invasion of the Ozarks, which is super exciting because their first year was incredible.
So when you're at these shows and you're walking around taking shifts and just, I'll go look at some of these other booths. Are there some cool stuff that you found?
Every time I go to a show, I tell myself, don't walk around. Don't do it. Don't do it, right? But every time I do it, and every time I find something, I end up buying. I've made a lot of little purchases here and there, custom gas caps to be etched because, my Jeep is Nightmare Before Christmas themed, mostly after Zero, who is the dog. So I don't want to go overboard. I don't want to be too much, but I like little touches that are like just enough. So custom gas cap, custom latches, grill plates, things like that I really like. The most recent show I went to had by far the coolest Jeep thing, I think, period, I've ever seen, called Jeepite. I'm actually wearing it, so I will gladly take it off while I talk about it to show you guys. So in Toledo, where Stellantis literally makes and paints the Jeeps, there are chunks of paint that comes off as overspray. And this lovely lady, it's called Medusa's Stones. She takes these chunks of rock, and it's kind of like rock, but it's paint rock. And it's all the Jeep colors from that year. And she cuts them into geodes and polishes them just like you would diamonds and rocks. So this is actually 2019. All of the different paint colors that were on the floor she then cut into a geode. So if anybody is wanting to look this up, it's called Jeepite, Jeep, and then ITE after it. And this starts as a big chunk, and there's a really cool video on YouTube. Once again, her name is Medusa's Stones, and she is a rock polisher by trade. And one day she just decided, what if I did this with the chunks from the Stellantis factory? So having in 2019, I saw this, which is all the 2019 colors. She can tell you what color years there are in there. That was it. I was like, mine. And they're double-sided. She makes keychains, bracelets, necklaces, everything. So, just as somebody who loves Jeeps and you're always looking for something that's just a little different that, not everybody bought off Etsy or something. You can't get this anywhere but Toledo,
cool
Ohio.
That you cut it and
it's... So I definitely think that's probably the coolest I've seen this entire year at shows was that.
All right, we got some rapid fire questions. You ready?
Sure.
Favorite trail snack?
Sun chips.
Nice. One mod you regret buying?
So I bought an SYE slip yoke eliminator for my YJ, and the reason I regret buying it was it sat in the garage because I'm a procrastinator and never put it on. And then our drive shaft fell out and cracked our entire transfer case all the way up. So I don't regret it because it was a poor purchase. I regret it because I never actually put it on the YJ to stop it from having that issue I then had to fix.
What's one mod you'd never give up?
Literally anything that makes me have open air. Sunrider, soft top, E-top, literally anything that makes this go away on a nice day.
What's your favorite trail? Rocks, mud, sand, or snow?
Ooh, depends the weather. I'll go with that. It depends the weather. I don't like rocks when it rains. I don't like sliding out of control. Controlled slides to me on rocks are fun. They're great, but rain can make them uncontrolled very, very quickly. So definitely do enjoy rock trails overall. But if it's raining, put me in a mud pit. Let's just get dirty. Let's just get gross. Let's see who can throw the most mud, right? So, here in New England especially, we get our seasons. So you kind of do a little bit of all of it depending where and when you go. We definitely don't get the rocks like Moab or Colorado. We get, as I'll call them, rocks. But, we got what we got. And then the mud up here does get a little crazy, especially in You might be driving through a path in the woods and it looks like it's not muddy, and before you know it, you're sliding everywhere.
What's one Jeep trend that just needs to go away?
Oh, needs to go away. That's a tough one. I don't want to say go away because it makes people happy, right? And as long as people are happy, yeah, who cares what they're doing as long as it's not hurting anyone, right? I personally am not a ducker. I have ducks. I do have a few. I don't hate on them. I feel special when I get them. I'm just not one to order special ducks to then go out and duck, Definitely keep a couple Bestop ones to complement, because when you see a good mod out there, you're like, I just wish I could tell them, but they're in the grocery store somewhere. So I love that you can leave the duck there. But personally, you'll just never seen them lined up in a row in my dashboard. But if I had to pick one Jeep thing that got to get rid of, is probably despising Bronco owners. Let's just all get along. Let's just all get along, guys.
Let's just both focus on the Toyota owners.
Yeah. There are a few other vehicles out on the trails that I've seen that I thought to myself, and I will not list them because that's a personal opinion, but I thought to myself, that's interesting. And if we all team up and work on that, I think we'll all be happier together.
Biggest trail pet peeve?
Not knowing how to pass. Like, tell me how many are in your crew. Tell me how many are coming, please. Please move over. Why are you staring at me? You have the room to move, not me. Those kind of moments. Work with me, not against me.
Last question.
Yeah?
If your life had a theme song, what would it be?
I would have to go, which is crazy because I don't listen to this type of music usually, but I would have to go with Lizzo, Good as Hell. Because it's really just about getting out of your shell and just like living your best life. And I think that, I like to call it the Phoenix syndrome, where people burn to the ashes before they rise and spread their wings, right? So to me, the past year personally has been my, wing expansion era. And, just being able to really get into the things that I love and doing, goals of my own and just feeling good as hell, really. So, yeah, Lizzo, Good as Hell for my life song right now.
Well, thanks for
of course
hanging out.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me.
Yeah, just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think you're doing great stuff.
Thanks.
And I'm loving it. All right, guys. Hey, that was interesting. I'm definitely going to look into probably some of those half doors and maybe an E-top. I don't know if Fergie could rock an E-top, or maybe we'll see. Anyways, I hope you got something from that. Definitely check out the links in the descriptions, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Appreciate you guys. Thanks.
How you feeling?